What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing a plan with me video, but I'm actually doing it a little bit different than what I normally do. Normally I would just plan it in my bullet journal, but I'm actually going to be kind of consolidating a bunch of video ideas into one and show you how I do all of my planning for the month with all of the different planning aspects that I use. So I am going to be setting up just a few small spreads in my bullet journal, but I'm also gonna show you how I'm meal planning using Notion, and I'm gonna go ahead and share that template with you all. I'm also gonna be showing you my grocery list for the week, so my meal plan and my grocery list, and I'm going to show you my budgeting for the month as well. So I'm gonna tell you about the digital envelope system that I use called Cube, and show you my spreadsheet in Notion. So there's a lot of different stuff happening in this video, but I feel like you all are going to really love it, really appreciate it, because this is how I am planning every single month, and you'll get to see exactly how and what and why I do everything. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, because I am on this subject topic, we're gonna start with doing the weekly meal plan and figuring out my grocery list. So first off, we have the grocery list, and I actually got this idea from someone on YouTube, and I thought it was genius. So you have a master grocery list with your categories. You can put what store you want to use. Right now I just have Amazon and Thrive Market because most of the other stores I go to, I just check what the prices are that day and it doesn't have to come from that store. But I do have orders that come through Thrive Market and a few things I think that come from Amazon. So I just put those in for now. These categories are just ones that I made, but you can obviously change them just by clicking either rename or delete. And of course, this isn't the full list because I only have just started using this. So I will be adding more things once we go through all the recipes for this week. When you want your actual grocery list, say I need basil, I would check it, and this would make it go into the actual grocery list for what I need at the moment. So if you change this master to grocery list, basil is right there. And what I really like about that is that I'll have a grocery list with, you know, who even knows, 30 to 50 items or whatever. But as I uncheck them at the store, the grocery list gets smaller. And then that way, I would say you're less inclined to forget anything because obviously your grocery list should be 0 at the end, if that makes sense. And I feel like that's better than me writing out a full grocery list in my bullet journal and just crossing it out. And then sometimes I forget, it's just so busy, like you can't really see the things that you're forgetting. So that is how the grocery list portion of that is working right now. This is just a little toggle thing, so I can close that up. And then I have my weekly meal plan, which I have looked at a bunch of different people's meal plans, and I need something that isn't like super detailed because my work schedule is so different. I don't really care about like the 3 meals a day and the snacks and stuff because I don't have kids. So all I really care about is what week I'm planning and the 5 or so meals that I'm planning for that week. It doesn't have to be on specific days. I kind of just go with the flow, see what we're hungry for. And because I only plan for like the week, I can kind of just pull all my meat out to thaw, and I don't have to worry about, you know, it going bad because I'm using it that week. All I did was make like what week we're on right now. So I have like week 1 is February 1, week 2 would be February 2nd, that kind of thing. So it's just like weeks 1, 2, 3, 4. That way I can keep track. And I can just keep going throughout, and you know, I can add March and stuff like that. Then I'll have the name of the meal that I'm making, and this is the little prep here, and then any notes. I actually might add where it has come from, I think. Then at the bottom, we have a recipe section here. I'm hoping to actually be able to put the website recipes in here, but we'll have to see, because a lot of times I see a lot of like good recipes, but I don't really have anywhere to save them, like online ones. So I'm hoping that that's gonna be an online save. And then just these pages down here, this is my actual recipe book where I have some family favorites that have been given to me by like my grandmother or my mom or whatever it would be. So I just keep that there, and then some old paleo favorites from older cookbooks that I really liked. So that is what I currently have. and we're gonna go ahead and meal plan for the week so that way we can see if this works really well. Okay, so let's go ahead and start meal planning. So far I was looking at Farmhouse on Boone, this chicken corn chowder, which looks absolutely delicious. And so I added a little recipe card down here and put this in my little weekly meal plan. I'm gonna go ahead and figure out what ingredients I need, and I'm probably just gonna use this search function in order to make it really easy. So let me go down to the bottom here. Okay, I already have butter. I'm gonna need chicken breasts. So we're gonna search chicken breast, got that on there. Okay, I'm gonna need celery. Mark that. Okay, so I finished doing my meal plan and my grocery list. I think I have everything that I need, but this is going to be super helpful because I can always add things on here when I'm thinking about them instead of being like, oh, well, I'm not close to my bullet journal, or I'm not close to like some place to write it down. So I added a few more different things that I thought were necessary. And so these will be on the template that I share with you all. But in this little grocery section, before that, we only had like a need/grocery list and then the master list, but I went ahead and added all the categories that I had in here. So for instance, when I'm thinking about it, I could just go to dairy and just look at the dairy, and I could be like, oh, I didn't even think about it, I needed eggs, if that makes sense. It's also really helpful too, when you're adding ingredients in here, add it within these categories because you don't have to scroll through a long list of hundreds of items. So for instance, let's say we're gonna go to frozen food and I want to add frozen broccoli. I can just be like broccoli and frozen, and it already adds the category of frozen food on there because it knows that I'm looking at just the frozen food list. So that's super, like, it's just super great because then you can just go through your list and see what you need in that section. So I am looking at my household section here because this is definitely where I feel like I forget things more often. And I don't have everything included in here, obviously. Like I don't have cleaning supplies, or for instance, I should add vinegar on here, because that's something that I usually always have to get. I don't need any right now. I should also add baking soda because I use that for cleaning. Obviously other things are gonna be other cleaning supplies, but like I said, I'm just gonna be working on this over the next few weeks so that way I can really hone in on all of the things that I need. But that is super awesome. So we just have like all the things, and then of course the master list, which has everything on it, and then the need list, which is what I will be shopping for today. So everything here on my need list are ingredients that I will be picking up. And honestly, I should probably add the property of category, so that way I can do it by aisle. You know, that would be very, very, very helpful. So that way, you know, you're not just looking over your whole list. So I'm gonna move this over. The store I don't care about as much except for like the Thrive Market stuff. Everything else I'll just be looking around. So that's super helpful. And then you can always just toggle this closed. So this is my weekly meal plan. I have more than 5 because some of the things are, for instance, like a breakfast I have on here, and then maybe like a bread I have on here. I don't know if I'm gonna add a little tag section for if it's like dinner or if it's breakfast. I don't really plan a whole lot out, so I can kind of just see what's on here. But for instance, we have the chicken corn chowder, and I wrote a little note that it would be good with the spelt sourdough that I have on here. Then I have the maple roasted chicken and sweet potatoes, the winter lentil stew. And these all have like recipe links because they are online. So I can just click on there and I can go to the actual site, which is really nice. These other ones that I have here are just out of the Nourished Kitchen book. So I wrote the page number down and then I wrote what I wanted to do with it. So for instance, there was a salmon baked in cream and I said with the slow baked cannellini beans, and so that recipe is on here as well. If you go down, we have the recipes that I added. Those are just the ones for this weekly meal plan, but I will be adding the recipes that I've been using the last few weeks, and I'm gonna mark them as favorites because we definitely have favorites. I made a chicken pot pie last week that was a favorite, and so that way when I am doing my meal plan, I can go back and make old recipes that were favorites, because sometimes I would say that's one of my biggest problems is I'm always looking for new recipes, and Alvin gets mad that I don't go back and make old ones that we loved. And so I feel like this is gonna be a good place for me to do that. I definitely have a feeling that I'll be adding just more like little tweaks and stuff to this, but I am so excited to see how it goes. And every month that I do this, I obviously will show you like how I've been using it or anything that I've changed. So that's really exciting. While we're on here, I'm gonna go ahead and show you my budgeting spread so far. So I have this little budgeting and I can just use this for every single month. Okay, so looking through my February expenses here, I use something called Cube Money. This is an app, and what it is digital envelopes. So instead of me using cash envelopes, having to pull out cash, having to use it for each category, there's actually an app where you can have categories in here and use them. So I just have a debit card, and you just pay with the debit card, and then you can actually like open up one of these and spend out of these. And so it's super, super helpful. A lot of my sinking funds in here. I actually, like, I had saved up $2,500 in my baby Wheeler fund, and I just used that to pay for my medications the other day. IVF meds, they're expensive. But yeah, so I keep like, I have Costco, date night, dining, groceries, you know, Graham, literally like I have sinking funds for like home maintenance. There's a little funding section where you can have your budgets and then you can just add money. So at the beginning of the month, I move my money over into Cube and then I fill all of my envelopes. Amazing system. I have been able to save a lot of money using that, and I'll link Cube down below because I have a little link for you guys. On Notion, I wanted to keep track of all my expenses, and even though I know some of the numbers from Cube, I don't spend everything that I put in my envelopes. And so essentially I am saving money there, but sometimes it's hard to figure that out. So I went ahead and created a spreadsheet. So here I have my February expenses, and this is the total beginning of the month. So I put the Cube spending categories that I have, and then I also have the Cube sinking funds that I have. So these are things that I don't necessarily want to be spending on, you know, a lot. For my spending categories, I have the beginning balance, and this is after I filled it up at the beginning of the month. So these are my current balances that I'm starting the month out with. And then my ending balance is gonna be what's left over at the end of the month. And then I can have the difference, and I can say whether I'm like under budget or over budget, which I might not keep that part, I'm not exactly sure. At the bottom here, I have a sum total. So my beginning balances are $2,800, but then at the end of the month, when I do my ending balance, I'll get to see what the current balance is. And then that will give me a good difference of how much I actually spent, even though not all of the categories are gonna be spent to zero, if that makes sense. I did the exact same thing with my Cube sinking funds. I did have the $2,500 at the beginning of the month for the baby Wheeler fund. Obviously the ending balance, well, right now it's gonna be zero, so it'll probably be zero. So I will know that I have spent $2,500 at least. The other things I'm hoping to not really be spending out of, since they are sinking funds. A lot of the birthdays and the Christmases, obviously we shouldn't be spending anything like that because we don't have, like my birthday isn't yet, Alvin's birthday just passed. So I'm also saving for taxes, which that will probably be spent out of soon. I'm saving for our future property tax, our real estate tax, vacation, all that kind of stuff. So that sum total is $7,000, which is really, really great. I mean, because I spent $2,500 of it, it's less than that now. But it'll be nice to see at the end, like, okay, did I actually still save a lot of money? So that's good. Then I did put a little bank account balance here. The like fixed expenses, like the bills that come out of our actual bank account. Most of what I spend or try to spend is out of my Cube account, but there are still bills that come out of our bank account. For instance, like our electric or our phone bill. Things like that, you know, I didn't feel the need to move it over when it's pretty much the same amount every single month, you know. So I just have that little section so I can figure out any other type of expenses that we had for the month that came out of our bank account that's not Cube related. And then I'm going to have our income. So I'm going to have all the income that we made for that month. And then I can see from all my other accounts that are above that, I can see what we actually spent for that month. And then at the end, I'll calculate the income that we made, and then I can make the actual difference of what we actually spent. So I do have a little toggle here for current balances, current total balances. I have it toggled off so you all can't see it because it's actually the current amount of money that we own. And so I have our emergency savings account in there. I have our Cube, all of our Cube accounts in there, like the total that they are. I have our checking account balance in there. And then I have what we call a debt payoff fund. So we have been saving money in order to pay off the debt that we have from when we bought this house. We were actually scammed out of our down payment. So we lost $28,000 that was supposed to go to the down payment of our house. You have to pay a monthly payoff for that, which is $313, which we do every single month. But then I've been adding extra money into our debt payoff fund, which the reason we haven't gone to pay it off is because we're gonna have to be paying for our IVF cycle. So I didn't want to put all of our money to pay off that debt. So I've just been having it as like an extra, kind of extra savings fund. So depending upon how much we have to pay for IVF, we're gonna just pull it out of that fund. Now, I just started this on Notion, so I don't actually have previous month to look back on, but next month when I do my plan with me again, I will actually get to show you then all of the numbers for February and how much we did spend for February, and then I'll show you like anything I'm changing for March. So that's my current setup for that. Okay, now I'm just gonna go ahead and show you my bullet journal spreads here. There's a few things that I am doing in here, which obviously I've been keeping track of any type of things I need to go to in the future. I've been keeping up with my year of cleaning spread, which I absolutely love. So these are obviously the weekly tasks that I need to do. These are the monthly tasks I need to do. And these are the seasonally tasks that I need to do. And I just put a mark when I actually do them. So love this spread. It's one of my favorites. And my weight measurements and workouts. Obviously, I have done absolutely nothing so far. That's okay. I'm just not in the mindset to get there, but that's why I'm glad that I set it up for the whole year, because it's there. When I start working out, I can actually put it in here, and I do want to start working on that soon. I'll be dropping down to part-time at my job, and I will definitely have more time to do workouts. These are just my spreads that I've been keeping track of what I've been watching, and I really like those. For January, I actually didn't do a lot of my spreads. I was just really, really busy, and then I was trying to keep track of my budget, and that's when I was like, you know what, I'm just moving it over to Notion. It would be better over there. So this is my February spreads. I'm actually only gonna be doing these 2 pages, and I'm gonna have this page as my calendar setup, and then this page is going to be like my habit tracker setup. I really, really have started enjoying like checking off what habits I've been doing. Really like seeing all the dots in a row. And then I will still be using this bullet journal in order to write down all of my tasks for the day. So that's what most of this bullet journal is going to be about. My long-term planning, long-term goals, that is going to be on Notion. And then all my like daily things are going to be here in this bullet journal. So I'm feeling very purple for February. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And then I'm just gonna drop this down a little bit here. There's only 28 days, I think, this year. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and mark the weekends because it's easier for me to see the weeks broken up that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's like 4-ish weeks there. Okay, so then I will just be able to write out any of like my work schedules on here, or for instance, like if I have a appointment or something, so that's like me going back to this. For instance, Graham's grooming is the 7th at 10 a.m. So I will mark that on here. I should maybe draw a line so I can put my work schedule first. Graham's grooming at 10 a.m. So that's how that will look. Okay. Then I just have a little habit tracker here. I'm gonna go ahead and line this in so it's a little easier to see. And I just have some things that I like to get done. I have some supplements and stuff, and I'm gonna add just an extra few tasks of things that are specific to this month. So this is pretty much all I'm setting up in this bullet journal, and then I'll have my actual tasks and stuff going on right here. But other than that, I feel like this is gonna be really good in helping me hone in on different parts of my planning process. That's it for this video. Let me know if it was super helpful for you, if you're really excited to see it on a monthly basis. I feel like over these last few years, I've really been trying different ways of organizing, how to get my tasks done, and a lot of times it does change. I feel like it depends on who you are as a person, what you have to do, and I think that I'm finally like getting to a point where I have a system and it's going to work out for me. Like I said earlier, I feel like using a bullet journal is really good for me on daily things where I just need to write down notes or I need to do a quick checklist. You know, I don't want to waste a lot of time on the computer. Whereas the long-term task, maybe it's things I want to think about in the future. It's the recipes that I want to be able to have linked there for forever. You can't really do that in a bullet journal. It takes longer to write down a whole recipe in the bullet journal than it does to quick link something on a Notion template. Especially with the organization factor of it. When you have things that you need to sort together, or even with math, you know, with the budgeting, you have to like add up a lot of things. It's much easier on a digital planning process to have that stuff done for you. But it does take a little bit of time to initially get set up, get the template set up, make it the way that you want it to. So I hope that this is very helpful. I'm really excited to do another one of these in March and to show you my process and where I am, anything that I've changed. But that's it. I need to go grocery shopping now. So I'll see you all in another video soon. Bye everyone.